Octavia now. And next with Octavia now. And next. What's going on, friends? Welcome to the first episode of Now and Next podcast with me, Octavia. And today we have a lovely host joining us today. We have a very famous Houston realtor,
Yes.
Houston entrepreneur.
Boutique owner, entrepreneur, digital product. I sell planners to my girlies. And Octavia's number
What kind
one
of planners?
girl.
Oh, uh-oh. What kind of planners do you sell?
These are planners for any girly pop in real estate. So
Okay.
if you just need some organizational tools, I've got you, girl.
Okay, and you heard it from her first. Where can we follow you at if they like what you're talking
Oh,
about?
ladies, you can follow me at the Taylor Franks on TikTok, Instagram, and yeah, TikTok and Instagram, girl. That's it.
Okay, and period. So if you can see the shirt, okay, shop the Fashion Nova one time. It says sacred love, and today's show is all about self love and acceptance. All right, there's a lot of lack of that all around the world, but we want to tap into that, and we want to maybe help somebody else overcome and find that self love within themselves. All right. So let's start off with our mental check-in. All right. Let's start off with your check-in. How you doing mentally right at this time?
Oh, I'm doing excellent at this time. What about you?
Um, I am feeling radiant, very much
We
so at this
love
time,
radiance.
and creative. It's a very creative
Okay.
time in a rebellion towards 9 to 5. Thank y'all for providing the
Yes.
money, but
A
Lord
lot of
help
people
us.
are trying to get free from that 9 to 5. It really is the matrix, y'all. It's just the
It's just the
matrix.
matrix.
That's what they want.
Exactly. All right, so let's tap in. We're gonna go ahead and start with our first question, Taylor. So this is gonna be very surface level first, so you don't have to think too hard, but we will get deep and pull those heart strings if we have to. So open your mind, open your heart, receive what you can, and block what you don't want to. We're all open minded, open thinkers over here, free thinkers. So, Taylor, can you describe what self love means to you personally and how it has evolved over time for you?
All right, let's focus on the first half of that question, which was what
Can you
is self
describe?
love to me? Self love to me is whenever you totally accept yourself. You're
Mm,
good, you're bad, you're ugly. You accept your thoughts. You just accept you, who you are.
okay.
Um, and then what was the
And
second
how has
part?
it evolved over time for you? Like, how has that self love changed in your perspective over time?
Okay, lovely question. So my foundation, and I don't know when I started feeling this, but I just kind of always knew like, Taylor, accept yourself. Because the outside world is always going to have opinion. At probably middle school, I was figuring this out. So that has always been my foundation. But as I've gotten older, you start dating and all the things. It it's changed in just terms of like, okay, self-love to me could be like making sure that you have some space in the relationship to be you.
Mm,
There's boundaries is self-love.
hmm.
Just some things like that. But always at its core, you gotta love you. You got to love and accept you.
Absolutely. And I wanted to piggyback on that and say, for me, a lot of the times you don't realize that you are lacking self love. So I am 33. Hello, hello. But I'm gonna be honest, I think I found self love at 28. I mean, I didn't, I'm just living life. I'm 21. I'm not even thinking of self love. I'm not even thinking of loving myself because I'm too busy trying to be successful. A
Mm.
relationship got me, I'm distracted. I'm gonna say distracted. There we go. I think I was very distracted from myself, and it took. I was talking to someone, and they didn't get happy, so it made me not happy, and I realized that don't got nothing to do with me.
Hmm.
So that literally changed my life.
Self
Shout
love
out to
is
that person.
also.
Changed my life forever because that person
Sorry,
didn't
y'all.
love themselves, and I was putting it on my shoulders for them to love themselves. But the whole time it was me not loving me. So ever since then, I've always looked at me. I always pay attention to myself and be aware of loving myself and what that looks like.
Yeah, sorry
Yeah.
about that. What I was gonna say is self love is also not taking on other people's emotions because
Yes.
it really has nothing to do with you.
Yes. And we're gonna get into those boundaries and how that looks. Okay, so let's get and dig into our personal selves. Let pass. Okay, so do you remember the moment or an experience that first made you realize you needed to work on self acceptance? Like, was there a time in your life where it just happened and it just dawned on you, like, wait, I don't care about y'all, it's about me now
Yes, oh my
accepting me.
gosh, in college.
Okay, talk
This
about
guy had broken my heart. He broke my heart. And just from that heartbreak, I'm like, you know what? Enough is enough. Because instead of like trying to find love in other places, it was time to like really reflect in the mirror and
hmm
really like love me and understand that I am cool. And you know what? Another thing about men is we give them too much weight
Yeah,
in terms of like, do they like us? Does he love me? Is he, girl, forget all that.
right.
What about yourself?
Self acceptance. What does self acceptance mean to you? Because I'm still trying to, like, I think I've always accepted myself. That's why I'm like making sure.
No, that's probably. I
But
mean, accepting yourself is just like no. I guess knowing your personality, knowing like, yeah, this does make me angry, and I don't care. I stand on
okay,
it. This makes me angry.
I could think
This
of a
makes me
moment.
happy.
I could think of a moment in high school or as a child coming up when we moved to the suburbs in Waco, Texas. Shout out to Waco. I like Waco because it really it's a lot of people around there being themselves, and that's the foundation. And I'm so thankful I'm from there because a lot of my city friends, no disrespect, if you're from the city, that's fine. But in college, a lot of my big city friends were, I don't want to say followers, but they didn't have their own unique personality. They just did what the next person was doing. So where I'm from, you are you, and everybody accepts everybody. Like at the beginning, so it's like I never had to think of self acceptance because I was always accepted there. But when I went to the high school with the white people, I remember them giving, they'll give each other looks because I'm black, and that's fine. It didn't really have power over me, but that made me reflect at that time, like I accept me and I'm fine with that. And my family, we have fun, we laugh, we play. So I don't care about you white people. Oh, not like in a bad way, but that's just my experience. So I
Right.
love everybody. Everybody, you know me, I love everybody, but that's just my personal experience. Okay. Anything up for that? Because we're about to move it along.
Let's move it
Let's
along.
get it. Okay. So this is the boundary question that I was talking about. All right. So how do boundaries, because boundaries, how do boundaries tie into self love, and why are they often so difficult to set?
I think they're difficult to set because I think it's human nature. You don't want to hurt someone else. You really don't. Like for the most part,
Yeah.
most humans, we don't want to see someone upset. We don't want to be the reason why somebody, had a bad day. And so I think that's why, and especially when it comes to family, you love your family. And we've all been conditioned to believe like, well, that's your family and you need to stick by them no matter what. It doesn't matter how they treat you. That's your family.
hmm
And that's not necessarily, I believe, how it should be because your friends can definitely become your chosen family.
Mm.
So I think boundaries is just, like it, you need to set them with everybody, including your family. I'm sorry, I kind of for what was
And the other part was how do boundaries tie into self love?
okay. I mean, so it's just like what you're not going to tolerate.
Mm.
If you love yourself, you're just not going to put up with some certain
hmm
situations, and that's just what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, that's right. I was thinking as you were talking, I had all kind of thoughts. But how do boundaries tie into self love? That is very important, but it's very hard to do, like you just said. Because it's like, at the end of the day, am I choosing myself or somebody else? Am I going to this party because that's going to make her happy? Or at this time, I'm drowning in debt. I'm sick. I don't feel good. I'm broke. But I still got to show up. Like things like that. Like, if I feel like if someone loves you, if someone truly cares about you, there are no boundaries.
There
That's it.
are
You
no
know what I mean? Like
boundaries.
if you need to take your time, the right person will not be offended.
Yeah.
And I'm real big on taking my time. Hey, ever since I learned self love, it's just been that's my non-negotiable. Period. I'm not here for you. I'm not here for me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Why they difficult to set? I agree with you. They're difficult to set because you don't want to hurt
Yeah.
nobody. So, all right. So here we go. Let's move it along, people. Ooh, you ready?
Hmm.
How do we start accepting the parts of ourselves that society or our upbringing taught us to hide or feel ashamed of? So think
Okay,
about
this is
yourself.
deep.
Yeah, think about like who you are and like what parts of you people try to.
Can you say the question one more time?
Yes. How do we start? How do we start accepting the parts of ourselves that society or our upbringing taught us to hide or feel ashamed of?
Okay. How can we start accepting meditation?
Okay.
Start meditating. Really, and my recommendations would definitely be going on YouTube, or if you have Apple Music, typing in guided meditations. They have a wonderful playlist. And I'm going to do a special shout out to my girl Sonia. Don't remember her last name, y'all, but she has a lot of really great meditations around love, calming down your
Okay,
mind.
we're gonna get into the daily
And,
practices next.
oh, okay.
But
Things
for
like
this
that.
one, how do we start accepting the parts of ourselves that society
I,
or
I'm
our
going to just
upbringing
say, yeah, I'm just going to keep it at meditation. What about for you? What do you think?
Deep, deep, deep self reflection.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Journaling, deep, deep, deep self
Use
reflection.
ChatGPT, even though
Looking
it's
at
horrible for the environment.
looking at yourself in the mirror. Just really taking time to sit with you.
You got to sit
Because
with
when you sit
you.
with you, so find something you don't like about yourself. Sit with that till you accept it. I don't like my
Hmm.
head. It's so big. You better
And
look in the
also
mirror.
keep in mind, everyone, you can change. Like, you can definitely become a new person, and there are ways to do that. And we'll talk about that next.
Okay. Since you know all the questions. Um, I'm trying to make sure I said everything I want to say that. But yeah. All right. So the last question we have for this self-love is acceptance episode here. This is where we get into what daily practices have
Hmm.
helped you strengthen your relationship with yourself.
Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, I do all the things. So the journaling, meditation, prayer, EFT tapping, listening to subliminals. I read books that help my mind. Every single day I am trying to constantly saturate my mind with dreams come true. Everything works out. Money finds me. I love myself. I'm confident. I'm strong every single day because this is every single day work. This is not something like, oh, I'm going to meditate one day a week. No, that's not how this works. You have to show up for yourself every single day. And it works. It works.
It
Get on
does.
TikTok. Do some research about it. It works.
Okay, so we're gonna put you on the fire since you don't know this next question. So how has your daily practices of self love with yourself, how has that strengthened other relationships? Now that you're working on you or fixing you or getting
Mm.
that foundation better, how is that helping you with others in other situations and things like that?
So I have like really strong, well, I feel like, how can I put it? In my relationship with you, I don't know, that's really a good question. I feel like because I love myself. Even though, look, y'all, I have some wild streaks to me. I'm an Aries, and we do go with the wind, we go with the vibe, and sometimes that's not necessarily good. That can get us in some pickles because we're not thinking, we're just having fun. And so I think with you, I love that about myself, even though it can be scary about myself. So I would say just finding someone who loves you for you because they can see that you love you, if that makes sense.
Yes, self love. Yeah, is attractive. You gotta love
Yeah.
yourself. Make other people see you like you see you. It's all psychological.
Yeah, because
Um,
when I first met Octavia, I was even, she saw, I was going through something, so that was a version of me, but it was obviously still me. And I say, like, you still, even on a friend level, you still love me as a friend. Like, you still like me. And I was crashing out. This is.
y'all, hear me when I say crashing,
But yeah, I was
crashing.
going through something. I was going through something,
But and you know what's crazy? I didn't know that she was going through anything. I was just thinking, whatever.
girl.
But we're not gonna get too deep into that because that's another story for another day. All right. All
Yeah.
right. So Taylor, tell me this. We have some people who will eventually be watching, like people who want to find self love within themselves. Maybe they lack it. Maybe they're curious about that. So, what advice do you have for those people who are looking for self love? What do they need to do?
Okay.
What
My
advice you
very
have for them?
first thing I would tell you to do is, because this has been my tool. I like taught myself this literally in middle school. What I do is I'll take a second, I'll close my eyes, deep breath, and I'll think, what is the number one thing that would bring me joy right now? And something that's safe, that's not going to harm others. Even if I don't necessarily have the money or the means, like what can I do right now in this moment that's going to bring me joy? And that's how you start loving on you, doing things that you love, being around people you enjoy. That's you loving you.
Okay. So, would you say you learn how to love yourself at home as a child?
Yes.
And who taught you how to self love?
No one.
So,
Well, not really. I mean, I think my mom maybe her without even realizing, because my
okay.
mom used to tell me all the time, who cares what other people say? Who cares what other people say? Who
Yeah.
cares? Why would you allow them to control your emotion? And so hearing that repetitively, it just made me think, okay, you know what? I accept me and I just don't care. Like I don't
Mm,
care. I don't care.
okay.
Sorry.
Okay. And that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Do you have any other words for our wonderful first episode?
Lovely first episode. Thank you so much for having me. And like, comment, subscribe. If you like this podcast,
Oh,
make sure you
yes.
follow my girl Octavia on all platforms.
I ain't got many, so hit me up. Sprite, I'm coming for the deal. I'm putting this in the energy right now. I'm manifesting this. I'm getting this Sprite deal. From now on, should have had it now. There will be a Sprite here. That's my favorite drink. Obey your thirst. Um,
Yeah.
I
Shout
want
out to
to also
that.
shout out some people that I like to listen to, and she likes to listen
Oh,
to,
yeah.
and who can help. It depends. Remember, I'm an open minded, open spirit, everything. Okay. Abraham Hicks. She put me on Abraham Hicks, so I'll probably say
Shout out to
that.
Abraham Hicks.
Elizabeth April. I love Elizabeth April. You really got to be like anything for Elizabeth, or otherwise you're gonna think we're all psychopaths. But you do you. Um, oh, and Pastor Mike Jr.
Yes. Pass out of Birmingham. Shout
out of
out.
Birmingham. Pastor Mike Jr., not Pastor Mike Todd. Not Pastor Mike
No.
Todd. Pastor
Mike
Mike Jr.,
Jr.
baby. Don't even twist that up. I would hate for that to be
Please
confusing.
don't.
What else you got? Who you going to shout out?
I mean,
Like,
Shout out to God.
what you listen to? Shout out to
Oh,
God.
one thing that we also do is like the morning prayer. I believe that YouTube channel is Oasis something. I'm not sure, but definitely having prayer. You need that prayer as many times as you can. Just as much as you're meditating, throw a prayer in there. Throw some
Okay.
praying in there.
Yeah, because all that real talk, what we really have in the background all day is good frequencies, good energy,
Yes.
because we understand that that's essentially who we all are on Earth. You just energy, you frequency, you vibrate. That's why people say good vibes. You can feel it. We feel each other. We go off. That's what we go
Yes.
off of. So we try to have that in the background, subconsciously programming our minds because subconscious has got the gutter. It's the gutter. It's the everything you don't want to focus on, everything you want to put to the back. So you want to clean that out. You want to clean that up, and with that, it will bring everything to the surface. And you gotta self love starts with digging in your subconscious and working on those hard things that you don't want to face. All right. So thank y'all for joining us on our first episode of Now and Next with Octavia podcast. We will have other guests. It will be a great time. And remember, y'all, it's all love, always. God bless. Keep them first.